Hello, this is Crystal Racing with the review for the 2022 Austrian Grand Prix, and of course for the Crystal score, Charles Leclerc won the race at last. But of course, in true Ferrari fashion, even when they win, they still lose, and of course we all know what happened to his teammate today, hence why I said that. Charles Leclerc 10 out of 10. Now, what a fantastic overtake that was in the first stint. Like, how did he find that gap going into turns, what was it, 4? 3? I don't know what they called it, but the third main braking zone of the track, he managed to pinch down the inside line beautifully on Max. Max could do nothing about it. It was a sublime overtake. Yes, of course, he had to re-overtake him after he and his teammate pitted. But I have to say, today it was actually a Ferrari strategy masterclass until, of course, we all know what happened to Carlos Sainz towards the end of the race. Second place, Max Verstappen, 9 out of 10, burnt his tyres out horribly during the middle stint. And as a result, when the two Ferraris came out of pits, they were able to overtake him so easily. This was not one of his best performances today, but, you know, if Ferrari could actually make a reliable car, he might have well have finished down in third. So finishing second today was a very fortunate result, and because he got the fastest lap, it means that Charles only took 5 points out of his championship lead this weekend. Ferrari, you are not hurting Red Bull where it really hurts. That's all I'm going to say. And of course, Perez retired. Really bad result for Ferrari. Got to do better. Third place, Lewis Hamilton, 10 out of 10. Did all he could in the car he has. Started 8th. Decent race all round. I mean, I don't really know what else he could have done, to be honest, because, truth be told, I mean, the car's just not really good enough. George Russell, 8.5 out of 10, got in that first lap collision with Perez. Now, of course, technically Perez was ahead, and Russell did take him out, but in my opinion, Russell was pretty close to the inside line of the apex of the corner going into turn 4, I believe it's called. Obviously, the third braking zone, since of course there's also another kink going up to the hairpin, which gets called turn 2, so the hairpin gets called turn 3, but as it was, George was giving a 5-second penalty, but even so, like, he dropped a few places, and the fact is he didn't have the pace of his teammate today, but nonetheless, it's yet another top 5 finish, again, having finished in the top 5 every time he's finished a race. 5th place was Esteban Ocon, 10 out of 10, perfect drive, spotless, faultless. Don't really have anything to moan about it. That was actually probably the best race Ocon's had for a long time. Schumacher 6th place, 10 out of 10. By far the best result of his career and the best race of his short Formula 1 career. He's really turned it around, I've got to say, in the past 3 or 4 races. You know, after Monaco 4, does this guy really have a future in Formula 1? Well, I think it's safe to say he does. 7th place, Lando Norris, 9.5 out of 10. Doing the best he can in a car that's not particularly great right now. But of course, because of these consistent results, McLaren remain in 4th place in the Constructors' Championship because Lando is, from what I'm aware of, I think he's still in the top, and he's got to be in the top 10 in the driver's standing. And from what I can see, yes. Oh my God, come on, Wikipedia. Yes, he is there in 7th place behind best of the rest with 64 points. Of course, Ricciardo is lagging behind a bit, but the fact is, though, although of course they're only sitting in 4th place on countback now, so yeah, Ricciardo, pull your socks up now. 8th place, Kevin Magnussen, 9 out of 10. Another decent drive, but once again outpaced by Mick Schumacher. This is getting a bit worrying now, I've got to say, because in the past 2 races, Mick has got, 3 races if we're going to be honest, because of course Mick retired at Canada. Mick has had the legs on Magnussen, and I am getting a bit worried. 9th place at Dan Ricciardo, 8 out of 10. Decent drive, about time he put in his first point score in a full distance race since, of course, Azerbaijan. Well, Daniel Ricciardo is really hit and miss these days, but he's got back up to 12th place in the Drivers' Championship, but he's still only 1 point ahead of Gasly, 2 ahead of Vettel, not where he really should be. He should be much higher than that. He's still stuck behind Magnussen. That's pretty worrying to say the least. But it's 2 points on the board. It's better than nothing. 10th place, Fernando Alonso, 8.5 out of 10. Started from the pit lane after, of course, he couldn't start the sprint race due to a mechanical issue. I wouldn't say it was an amazing drive by any stretch of the imagination, but he did what had to be done. Made a few errors here and there, but the fact of the matter is, he got a point on starting from plumb last. So yeah, well done, Fernando. 11th place, first of the non-point scorers, Valtteri Bottas, 8 out of 10. Also had to start at the back. And he got overtaken by Alonso, so as a result, he gets... I was going to give him 8.5 out of 10, but he gets half a point knocked off. Sorry, mate. 12th place, Alex Albon, 7 out of 10. Started 15th. Could he have done better? Maybe, but he was overtaken rather easily by both Alonso and Bottas, I'd have to say. I do wonder if he blew a chance to score a point today. I kind of feel like it. 13th place, Lance Stroll, 6 out of 10. I can't remember what he did in the race once again. It's the same story for Lance. He's so mid now. 14th place, Joe Guanyu, 5 out of 10. Didn't see much of him either, to be honest. 15th place, Pierre Gasly, 5 out of 10. Oh, my goodness me, Pierre. That move on Vettel was just pure idiocy. You ran him off the road, and frankly, you deserved that 5-second time penalty. That was just idiotic. You just ran him well wide. That was ridiculous. What were you doing, man? The same corner again. I keep forgetting what is it called. Is it turn 4, turn 5? I don't know what it's called. Yeah, it's turn 4. It's called Raunch. Yeah, it's the same corner as all the incidents throughout this race. I might have to do a commentary video of all the overtakes during the race and at Silverstone, because a lot went on at Silverstone, I've got to say. Pierre, mate, you blew a chance of scoring points yesterday in the sprint race, and because of the fact you had to start further back, then of course it meant that the chances of you scoring points were further diminished, and then of course that collision with Vettel, well, you blew it again. But even so, though, I've got even worse words of condemnation for, of course, oh, sorry, yeah, Alex Albon actually finished 16th. Oh, no, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong bit. Yeah. Alex Albon did finish 12th, sorry. Yeah, 16th place was indeed Yuki Tsunoda. Sorry, I was looking at yesterday's result. 5 out of 10 for Yuki Tsunoda, 5 out of 10 for Pierre Gasly, 5 out of 10 for Joe Guanyu, 6 out of 10 for Stroll, 7 out of 10 for Albon, 8 out of 10 for Bottas, just going back up again. But Yuki Tsunoda, on a weekend where your teammate was committing blunders left, right and centre, you were just not on the pace. You're not even capable of taking advantage of Pierre Gasly driving like a bumbling idiot, and yet you're still finishing behind him. There's nothing else to say. You didn't get involved in any incidents, but you're just slow, man. I don't know how you're going to have a future in F1 after this, but of course, 17th place, Sebastian Vettel, 6 out of 10, very unlucky to be taken out by Pierre Gasly, and frankly, I know that might seem harsh, but I honestly don't know how to rate Vettel's race. It was just ruined by Gasly, to be honest. Then the retirees, Carlos Sainz, 8.5 out of 10, looked like he had a chance of finishing second until Ferrari struck again, and of course a fire came out of his engine cowling when he parked up, and there was an immense amount of damage done to the rear end of that car. I've got to say, all that steam, all that smoke, all that fire, I think he's going to have a new power unit, and that might cost him a few places on the grid in the next few races at some point. 5 out of 10 for Nicholas Latifi. Didn't do anything really, just ran out the back. Of course, as we all know, Kimi Raikkonen did a fantastic job standing in for Nicholas Latifi as a body double at the previous race at Silverstone. And Nicholas Latifi returned to Austria, and he returned back to his actual normal performance. I've got to say it, Kimi Raikkonen was a bit sore and battered being driving these new ground effect cars. His 42-year-old body just couldn't handle like any more than like one full weekend of driving these cars, and I don't blame him. These cars are very hard to drive, but as to be said, Latifi was back. You know, the real Latifi was just, well, awful really. And of course, Sergio Perez 5 out of 10. Yes, he was around the outside and ahead of Russell coming out of turn 4, but he turned in on George Russell. You see the steering lock, he turned right in, and frankly, I don't have any sympathy. It's his fault. It's 5 out of 10. Yes, I know Russell got the penalty, but for me, Perez just kept turning, went from the outside and tried to turn it on the inside. I don't know what to say. You know, I know he gets a lot of praise for his racecraft, but that was not good enough. So thank you for watching, and see you again next time.